Okay, so as a part three, I do apologize, keeping these in bits. I gotta get used to trying to record these things. Been very just really occupied, so I'm trying to make this really quick. But to continue on from my previous video, and I was trying to show you as an update, a top 25 countries with a lot of cases in COVID. Now, there are three countries there people really need to pay attention to. Very important. Three countries are not in that top 25, but I'm going to tell you those guys in just a second. You have the United States leading. They have like over millions of cases, but those have been confirmed based on a lot of their testing. Brazil themselves, now I don't know, pretty sure they may have way more than that, but for Brazilians, that's pretty a lot. You have also India, Russia, South Africa, Mexico, Peru, Chile, Colombia, Spain, Iran, UK, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Italy, Turkey, Argentina, Germany, France, and even Iraq, or even the Philistines after. Indonesia, Canada, and Qatar as well. But check this out. Out of the top 25, you mean to tell me there's no Sweden listed, there's not even close to a Hong Kong, or I don't know, I don't think Hong Kong's even a part of, like, I think it's China now basically, but China's not even there. So per se, or as their cases are proclaimed. And then the third country too, it's also Japan. People really also look for. It's very interesting. Let me tell you that in a second. They have, this is Sweden now, they have about 82,000 people who are infected. And they have a population that is almost 10 million. Almost 10 million in the population. And they've never done a lockdown. Ever. From since the lockdown began, people criticized them saying they failed. I saw them all from Bloomberg, from I think CNBC as well, and many other accredited news sources, and definitely CNN, always CNN. And they said that they failed, but now currently it shows that despite the cases, they're like somewhere in the like top 30s or top 40s right now, and they haven't really done that much spikes, which is incredible, you know. And now everyone's asking them how did they do it, and you even have like state in Arizona themselves have also done it, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Just give me a minute. And those are sources from John Hopkins. You can check out the data itself live. It should be in the link in the description, and from the previous video too. You got from World Health Organization. You got from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, and you got it from even a National Health Institution. So it's all in the link description to, just check out the link description. Now, we have like a report anticipation. So you have hospitals that already laid off many workers. They've laid off many physicians, many assistant physicians out there where now it shows that the cases, the hospitals themselves, the health facilities, the clinics, they are now overwhelmed with the amount of patients they have to take care of because they're so understaffed, which shows a lot to it. But I'm going to leave for you to figure that out. Free thinker. Now you have this person. He's an ambassador of World Health Organization himself. This is very important at this video right here, very important. Dr. David Nabarro, he advocates as the ambassador of World Health Organization that we should avoid lockdowns as a country. Did you hear that, Bahamas? We should avoid lockdowns as a country. He states that the World Health Organization invites countries to do everything possible not to have complete lockdowns. It's a blunt tool, ineffective in this case. Now, from the beginning, he claims that the way to deal with this disease is with really effective strategies. Finding people with the disease, testing them quickly, getting results, trace their contacts, doing isolation properly to those that are particularly vulnerable, like vulnerable people, people who like are catching the cases the most. That's the elderly, keep them somewhere contained or whatever. Or I don't know, how people who are out their demographic not interact with them as much, just take care of them. Now, unlike one of our country's subcommittee who are nominated for the Bahamas Economic Recovery Committee, I call them BERC for short. I find it very odd that you form this subcommittee and you're still asking the general public for more polls on what our country leaders in power could do to help improve the country's state with this pandemic. Or even for you guys, you're in the position, that's why you were nominated. And that's another ineffective method that has a massive track record of a failure. You figured that one out in details. Ideas are worth a dime a dozen. The people that implement them are what makes them priceless. Now, I got a question from Mr. Rule of that committee, or Mr. Aubrey himself of that committee, that they shouldn't have any issue in answering. Do any of you as men know who said that quote? I'm going to reiterate it again. You know, an idea itself is worth a dime a dozen. The people who implement them are what makes them priceless. You should know it was the late passing of a Blue Stock Victorian, multi-millionaire Mary Kay Ash. She developed a billion-dollar company by just selling makeup. Makeup. And for those of you as young women out there who could be actually listening to this video, there's your start to looking for a role model in this country. Now, moving on, President Trump had already confirmed that America will not push another national shutdown, as they have understood the disease with the elderly and people with comorbidities. Now, President Trump concurs that these lockdowns will intensify more drug-related problem issues, suicide, Great Depression, obesity, alcoholic issues, marriages falling apart. And you can see those numbers. You can check the United States Department of Statistics. Or you can even check the, well, that's Department of Labor, but Department of Statistics too. And you can even check the Bahamas Department of Statistics as well. Now, I got sources from, the links are in descriptions below. I got sources from the White House newsletter that Trump had met with Governor of Arizona, I think it was Douglas Ducey, and he believed, and Trump believes that Governor Ducey did a fantastic job with reducing the number of cases since the aftermath of the lockdown in each state. Now, of course, candidate Biden tries slamming him for his strategic action in Arizona, which is just odd. Of course, it's Biden. He's looking for attention as always. Now, what's going on in the Bahamas is that the Center for Diseases Control and Prevention issued a Level 3 travel health notice for the Bahamas due to the spikes in COVID-19. The organization summarized that the Bahamas is active with criminal activity like armed robberies, home invasions, even sexual assaults. And there are cases proving that it's happened in broad daylight, hotspots like in New Providence and Grand Bahamas. Now, government personnel to the United States have not been permitted to visit those areas where many tourists and visitors have been recommended in traveling to because it is sand trap area that shows high-profile criminal activities. That just means those commercial, recreational experiences with unregulated water tours with jet skis and motorboats. Now, those vehicles, as an example, it just hasn't shown a satisfactory track record in keeping maintenance or even checking safety certifications to operate as a business, in a country for tourists. Now, jet ski operators, they've been known for sexually violating tourists. Consequently, the United States government personnel, they're not permitted to operate jet skis and rentals, especially in Nassau and Paradise Island, which for some reason shows justification for one to marvel and raising suspicion. What do you expect? Now even USA Today already published that the Bahamas reopening likely won't benefit the average traveler, American traveler, may I say, looking to explore the islands, especially due to the requirements of quarantine for 14 days on their arrival. This means that any and every American will be liable and facing deportation. Now, I have some anticipations you're not going to like to hear. For those of you, as my exclusive subscribers at the Bahamas, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, is if you believe this COVID-19 is going to end or have vaccinations by the end of this year, you're living in a dream world, okay? I bet you my lunch that next year you will be waking up with people wearing masks. It's not going to be stupid. People are actually going to take care of their health. And you're still going to be in fear of over some viral infections. Now, Lukayans have sources that says this pandemic will be around for a very, very long while. And for me, that means years. Now, for the average individual, don't confuse what I'm saying and take it lightly. It's about to get a lot worse with this bombardment of cases skyrocketing in the second wave. Now, we have analytical analysis of COVID-19, especially with the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian what came. There was that whole storm that formed a bit of a high category level of speed that happened. I forgot the hurricane name for some reason. Comment below if you actually remember what it is. I can't remember. I don't even know if it was even a hurricane. Well, look more at a storm than me. But we lacked heavily in anticipation for the collateral damage. You know, Lukayans will be publishing a financial report to subscribers only about what the aftermath and the fourth quarter will look like due to this whole global pandemic and the hurricanes we'll be facing. So if you're not a subscriber yet, please visit our official website. It should be in the link descriptions below. Click it and be one of the first ahead of the market in research and data analysis that we're gonna be developing for you to use in your business. You know, you're gonna be the first, and as well as in your career. Now, Bahamas also have the rest of the hurricane season to worry about, just like with the rest of the Caribbean for 2020. But now we had these economists and analysis here that couldn't even predict any of these outcomes. That we lost about $3.4 billion in collateral from the two islands we had that were impacted most out of Hurricane Dorian. They did a failure of a poor job at that. No one came up with the stats at all for the public. That's ridiculous. You know, everything with like the commercial and residential properties, the OPEX, the CAPEX, deferred charges, receives, all that stuff in accountants, the security commissions, and the cherry on top, the health industry, which I'll get to in the next video.